Welcome to All Things Work, a podcast from SHRM. I'm your host, Anne Sparaco. Each week, we dive into a game changing topic in the world of work. And this week, we're discussing the importance of mentorship. It's something a lot of us can relate to in that support system, that cheerleader in your corner, someone to help guide you through your career journey. And we're talking about the importance this has on HR professionals, career development, and the journey from mentorship and career development to organizational success. And here to talk about that with us is Mary Kitson, the founder and director of Mentor HR. And Mary, you are also the senior program manager of the MITRE Corporation. Welcome to All Things Work.
Thank you very much for having me here today. I look forward to diving into the conversation.
Oh, we love this conversation. We love this topic. Mentorship is so important in the world of work. So let's start off with Mentor HR. Can you tell us a little bit about what this program is all about?
Essentially, Mentor HR is about developing really savvy HR leaders. And the program is run by myself, and I have a team of about 25 volunteers, ranging from executives to HR managers, generalists, and specialists across the public, private, and nonprofit sectors. And the program really is suitable for anyone from 3 to 30 years of experience. And the program really meets you wherever you're at on your leadership development journey. And the program itself really takes the concept of traditional one on one mentoring, which has been around for centuries, I would say, and it turns it on its head and it applies a multi level peer mentoring based approach. And what I really love about the peer mentoring approach in groups is that you can really leverage the power of your peers, the collective genius of your peers to help you learn and grow.
So, when you were developing this idea to start this program, what really compelled you to just create this program to begin with, especially just for HR professionals?
Yeah, the program is a refresh of the Northern Virginia SHRM chapter's original one on one mentoring program from the 1990s. And it was very successful. Many, many years ago, it received one of the coveted SHRM Pinnacle Awards for Excellence. The current iteration of the program also received one of those Pinnacle Awards. And we found that over the course of a few years that we had a really difficult time trying to get enough executives, senior HR professionals to serve as mentors. And the chapter president at the time asked me and a colleague to reimagine the program. And I got lucky and I saw the cover of the September 1998 Fast Company magazine, which talked about peer group mentoring. And the actual title is called Women's Ways of Mentoring. And by the way, it also works for men. That's the real title. And I was compelled to open the magazine and read more. And I was really inspired by this really collaborative peer approach to mentoring. And I thought this is the solution for our problem of not having enough executives to mentor more junior HR professionals. And it sounded very sustainable, a very sustainable model because you didn't need anyone beyond just people that wanted to learn and grow. And peer group mentoring is very reciprocal. And so you're both serving as mentor roles to be able to share knowledge and resources and advice. And then you also are receiving those things and these peer groups.
Right.
So I just thought it was beautiful. And we pitched the idea to the local chapter president and we just went from there.
I love how you can narrow it back just to just not even just the story itself, but the headline, and how it captured your attention and how you wanted to capture other people's attention using that similar method. I absolutely love that. I think that's really really cool. So you're talking about in the 90s how it really came to be. So how has it developed over the last several couple decades actually?
Yeah, the program has evolved quite a bit in 25 years. And I will say at the very beginning of the peer group mentoring program, it was just group mentoring. There were no peer mentor matches. We did not have leadership development as an aspect of the program. And so over the years, I'll say after the first couple of years, the participants in the program said, really want to be matched with the peer mentor. So we've got that trusted relationship with someone. The group is great and we want more. So we added that. And then a few years later, the Northern Virginia SHRM chapter formed a joint venture with the Dulles SHRM chapter. And we added the leadership development curriculum to the program. And we had an alum who got her leadership coaching certification, and she contacted me and she said, I want to give back to the program. What can I do? I have leadership coaching training. I said, how about you offer that to all of the participants in the program? Today, we have 7 coaches as part of the program. Our syllabus grew quite a bit over time where we needed to have a learning management system. So we've got one of those. And I would say because the program is led by alumni of the program and they know the program really well, and because we're always asking for feedback on people's experience with the program, how's it impacting them? What could we do better? What would be more impactful for you? The folks that manage the program with me um, know what is needed. And so we're constantly um, improving the program, and that continuous process of evaluation and building new components to the program and shedding those pieces that don't serve us anymore has been really valuable over the period of time. And then beyond that, we meet every month and we will bring in HR experts, executives in many cases, and they will either lead a workshop for us or they might be on a panel. And so that's another layer of mentors. If you really resonate with what they had to say, you can connect with them. That might turn into something bigger. And we have an alumni network, which has hundreds of members.
We know that when HR professionals, come to the Mentor HR program, they're coming maybe with some challenges they're expressing. So, what are some of those biggest challenges where they're trying to seek guidance here?
Yeah. I'd like to start off by saying everyone that comes to Mentor HR is a very successful professional.
Hmm.
And what we do is make them even better. And I love that
I love
aspect
that.
of the program. So people may come to us with different career and life situations. Maybe they are on the cusp of a promotion. Maybe they want to make a lateral move. Maybe they want to move out of their organization because they just don't have more opportunities there. Maybe they have found that their values and what's important to them are no longer in alignment with the organization that they support, and we can help them find some clarity around that. One of my favorite groups of participants are those HR offices of one, and they're probably with smaller organizations or maybe a nonprofit, and they don't have that HR collective, that trusted network to go to. And so this program can be particularly helpful for them. And in other cases, people may have just run into some sort of a career roadblock and they don't really know what it is. They can't put their finger on it. And through the exercises and the different learnings in the program, they can help tease that out of themselves and figure out how to get unstuck. So people can come to us with any number of different, challenges or career situations that they want to work on. And the program is probably going to have a nugget or two in there that they can take away and take some action on.
That's great. That's great. And you talked about peer to peer mentoring. So, how is that different from other professional approaches to mentoring?
Yep. Peer mentoring and I think its cousin, professional networking, they are related in that they're both very reciprocal in nature with sharing resources, sharing feedback, maybe sharing connections in your network. However, when you get to mentoring, those relationships are going to be deeper. And I really see a mentor relationship as having this safe, supported learning container. And networking relationships, you might find mentoring relationships in your network. And where the mentoring relationship goes deeper is that mentor is really going to listen to you deeply. They are going to be with you through that whole end to end life cycle. And you are probably going to share with that person not just that you are looking for a new role, but you are going to share with them the reasons why you are leaving, what those particular circumstances were in your organization. Why did that layoff happen? Um, are you happy about that because you really wanted to leave anyway? And you're probably going to share more of your deepest desires for what you really want for your future. And so that trusted learning container, that trusted space for the mentoring conversations is what really makes peer mentoring or any sort of mentoring quite unique.
You took the words right from what I was gonna say. I think the source of trust is really vital here. And, that's why you have a mentor. You want someone who you can speak to honestly so that they can help guide you. Because if you're not really being transparent about what you need, then people cannot really help you get what you need at the end of the day. So that is a really unique benefit. And you really tackled some of my next questions. So and I also think it's really important to identify maybe a mentor. It doesn't have to be personally, even someone specifically in your field or somebody maybe who's just going through similar stages as you. I know I personally have had a mentor who helped walk me through my career and even a career transition for myself. And she was absolutely wonderful. And I still stay connected with her. So I think we can all appreciate our mentors who take the time to listen to our needs and to be vulnerable and honest with us. So
Yeah,
thank you.
that's absolutely right. A good
Yeah.
mentor can be anyone that you can learn something from.
Yes, and I and they're sometimes they're just so smart and they give you different pathways maybe you never even considered. So I love that. That's what I love the most about mentorship is you also feel safe, psychologically safe there with that trusted source. So so I want to switch things over to your role at MITRE. Can you briefly walk us through your role and exactly what MITRE does?
Yeah, so for our corporate mentoring programs at MITRE, I'm the senior program manager. And even before I arrived at MITRE about 16 years ago, MITRE did have a number of mentoring programs in place, although we did not have a single corporate mentoring program. And what I did a few years after coming in was form relationships with the individuals who led our they were business unit based mentoring programs. And we would get together occasionally, have forums to discuss what we were doing. And we decided collectively that we could really have more impact if we could create a corporate mentoring program. So, uh, I think I was nominated or volunteered to make a pitch to senior leadership that we wanted to do this and we needed corporate funding to do so. And so we took the best of all of our legacy mentoring programs, sort of a best athlete approach, and we formed what is called One MITRE Mentoring or OMM, the acronym. And what we focus on is you can tell has been influenced by me and my work with SHRM over the years. It's all pure mentoring based. And we have group mentoring, we have speed mentoring, and we have a really rich early career peer group mentoring program that we've just had in place a couple of years, which I'm super excited about.
It's different and important in all aspects of your career. And the sooner you start, the better chances you have of getting that support in each stage. And I think that's so great that you start from the very beginning, and I think especially it's scary entering not just like a new career, but just entering the workforce in general. It can be intimidating. So having that mentorship, having that peer to peer interaction is so vital for, early career workers? Because a lot of people may wonder, how do you measure success and mentorship? What does that look like? You talked about maybe surveys and feedbacks, but what are some other ways to measure the success impact of these mentoring initiatives?
Yeah, it's really important if you're going to design some sort of a corporate program or even the one that I manage for SHRM, you want to understand upfront what problem are you trying to solve and what audience are you serving, because that drives everything else. You'll want to determine upfront what your data collection plan is, because if you decide you want to measure something on the back end and you don't have the data on the front end, you're not going to be able to have those data points to be able to support the story that you want to tell. So that upfront planning, I think, is a really important aspect of any sort of measurement of your program. I would recommend that people use the Kirkpatrick model. So if you're looking at reaction, learning, behavior, and impact, it is very hard to get to impact measures, but I think that that is a good way to go. Even if you're just starting off with, what were people's impressions of the program, then maybe you're leaning into, what did people learn from this experience? And then edging into, did we see behavior change? Did the individuals in the program actually exhibit new behaviors and form new habits? The hardest one is really to get to impact measures. I mean, at MITRE, we are really just brushing up against the impact measures because we want to look at the impact on employee engagement, for example. And you do have to plan up front the data you're going to get, and you've got to get the feedback through the program to be able to tell that story.
You have a lot of experience between Mentor HR and MITRE. But do you have any anonymous, obviously anonymous examples of success that you'd thought really stood out to you throughout your time working in this area?
Yeah, one of my favorite ones is someone from our Mentor HR alumni cadre. And she came into Mentor HR just starting a new role in a, a new industry and was really challenged to learn about that industry, had a boss that she's having trouble connecting with, had a primary customer who appeared to be very difficult to work with, and was working a lot of hours. Highly successful person, very talented, but wasn't sure how to really make some changes. And was she just going to like give up that role and quit and go do something else? Or was she going to work through it? So with Mentor HR, she was really able to get the tools, and resources, and I'll say, emotional support she needed to be able to do some inner reflection. And she changed some of her personal habits. And so she actually was showing up as a different person on the job. And once she did that inner reflective work, she actually was able to solve some of the challenges in her new job in a pretty short period of time. And she was like a completely different person. So I'm just really excited that Mentor HR was able to provide that safe, supportive learning container for her.
I love that. I love the emotional support. I honestly sometimes feel like a mentorship program or just mentor, just direct one on one feels almost kind of like a form of therapy. Like you're feeling like you release some type of just burden and you get to talk to someone, relate to some of that commiseration, even just kind of lets you feel a little more hopeful, not just about your career, but in and outside of life. And I love that. It's that connection people make. And to keep with the theme of mentorship and that human connection throughout this entire episode, because I'm loving this conversation so much, what advice would you offer personally from your experience for HR professionals looking to implement a successful mentoring program to help that career development and, of course, benefit the overall organizational success?
I would say one of the most important things is going back to what we've touched on several times, create that safe, supportive learning container. And that may mean that you need to provide some training on listening skills, which seems like we're all humans. We should be able to do it. But in fact, we're very distracted. And we are challenged to do that. So listening skills are key. I would say coaching skills to help people learn how to ask really curious questions. And I would say to really start with identifying the problem it is that you want to solve and what the audience is for the program. So you're developing your measurement plan. So how are you going to know when you've met success or not? And then you're going to switch it up to be able to get to where you want to be. So I would say those two things are really critical. And beyond that, I would say just um, helping people to be their best selves. And that is really going to make the difference for people's careers and their whole lives, really. And mentoring, I think, spans much more than just your career wherever you are, but also developing the person as their whole self. So that's what I would recommend.
I love that. I love that. And at SHRM, our leaders often say, especially our president and CEO, Johnny C. Taylor Jr., he always says, exercise your empathetic muscle. And I love that phrase because, that's really what comes down to the core of being human understanding and listening to understand. So thank you so much, Mary Kitson, for joining this week's episode of All Things Work. We truly enjoyed your insight, your mentorship. Honestly, kind of felt a little bit like therapy. So thank you so much.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
All right, that's going to do it this week for this episode of All Things Work. We encourage you to subscribe and follow All Things Work wherever you enjoy your podcasts. And that includes our weekly newsletter, which includes podcasts and related research on all those hot button topics to keep you in the know throughout your career. Make sure to sign up for All Things Work on shrm.org/allthingswork and follow us on social media. Leave a comment, a review. We want you to be part of the conversation. That's it for this week's episode. We'll catch you next time.